Is the NFL rigged? Welcome back to our second installment of weekly updates here at Sunday Swagger. We got a few things to dig into today. I really want to emphasize the NFL games yesterday that happened, the championship games. All of us were watching. Just a lot of fishiness going on there. We're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into the fact that Max Homa is an absolute stud. Comeback victory at the Farmers Open. We're going to dive into a little bit my thoughts on the whole Patrick Reed thing and Rory McIlroy. That whole thing is super weird, but don't want to give that too much attention. Also, last week and probably most of the time, you're going to be seeing Emma, who's going to be the face of this thing, but she ran into some unfortunate circumstances this weekend. She's out in Arizona. Apparently got a flat tire last night, texted me and said she wouldn't be able to make it in to the office this morning. Lo and behold, I'm sitting here now and I'm taking over for her for today, but most of the time it's going to be her on here. The goal with these weekly updates is to provide highlights from the last week. We're gonna try to be super consistent with them, do them once a week, really build this up, build a connection with the followers, hopefully, and the subscribers, and give you a glimpse into what is happening this week. And it's basically just a bunch of opinions from this, a lot of facts, hopefully 90% facts, 10% facts that we think are facts but probably aren't facts, but we're going to try to be as accurate as we can for you guys. It's going to be a lot of opinions though at the end of the day. What we think about what's going on, like I said earlier, the NFL I think is rigged. I'm going to hop into that in a sec. Going forward, yeah, we just want to make this a consistent thing, try to nail these out every single Monday for you guys. There's some editing that's involved, there's overlays on the screen, there's all that kind of stuff, so bear with us, you know, if it gets out a day late or so, but we're going to try to be consistent for you guys and keep you guys happy at the end of the day. But the first thing I want to jump into today, golf aside, it'll probably be mostly golf. We'll be talking about, you know, PGA events, live events that are going on, all the above, what's going on in the world of YouTube golf, all that stuff. But man, something that really stuck out to me yesterday in particular, it stuck out to me the whole year, it stuck out to me last year, it stuck out to me my whole life watching sports. Sometimes you just can't write a better script than what the NFL puts out there on the field. Yesterday, I think, was just a prime example of, I don't want to use the word rigged, even though I already have, but man, something's really fishy. There was no chance that the NFL wanted the Bengals in the Super Bowl, and I think that showed with the Bengals driving the ball down the field, all the penalties called on them in the fourth quarter. I think there wasn't one penalty called on the Chiefs all fourth quarter. Could be wrong there, but it seemed like there were no penalties on the Chiefs. Obvious penalties, obvious holding calls, blocking in the back on that punt return at the end there that Sky Moore returned and gave themselves excellent field position. I think there was 7 penalties you could have called on that punt return, but they weren't called for obvious reasons. The NFL did not want the Bengals in the Super Bowl because of all the stories and all the storylines, all the analysts get to talk about with the Chiefs being in the Super Bowl. You got Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce, very beloved players in the NFL, superstars. They have their own podcast together. Them playing together in the Super Bowl head-to-head is a phenomenal story for the NFL in and itself. You also have Andy Reid, who coached the Philadelphia Eagles for a very long time, facing his former team in the Super Bowl. That's a story in and itself. They really want that to happen. They wanted that to happen. It was obvious after yesterday's game. I'm not even going to get into the 49ers game because that's a whole different story. The NFL couldn't have Josh Johnson playing in the Super Bowl. Would not be entertaining. Some 49ers fans would love it, but from a general perspective, everyone wants to watch Mahomes and Jalen Hurts go at it. I don't think there's any other way around that. They did not want the 49ers in it. Yesterday, though, it was so blatant to see how big of a hand the NFL and whoever writes their scripts has on these games. It was very clear in my opinion. And I'm not a Bengals fan. I know I sound like one right now. I sound pretty upset about it, but I'm a football fan. I'm a sports fan at the end of the day. You just don't want to see that kind of stuff happen. You don't want to see a game being decided by the ref. It seems obvious, you know, and I really think that this stuff needs to be investigated. It needs to be looked into. There's a lot of money involved in primetime games. All the eyes are on it. The NFL is a business at the end of the day. It's an entertainment business where they're put there where they put talent out on the field for us to watch and for us to enjoy at the end of the day. So whatever makes money, they're gonna make that happen. Switching gears, Wow, what a week for Max Homa. Big Max Homa fan here ever since he was in the Bob Does Sports video. I loved seeing his personality. I loved seeing him shoot a 60, almost shot a 59 in that video. Would have been unreal, but Max Homa, Keegan Bradley at the top of the leaderboard there. Keegan had a phenomenal day. 2 Bob Does Sports guys, love seeing that. Sam Ryder, what are you doing, man? I was cheering, I was rooting for you when you were at the top. It seemed like it was Jon Rahm's week to win and go 3 starts in a row winning, only being down 2. We were there on Friday. We saw how thick the rough got. It is normally not that thick for those of you that don't live in California. When you play there, they cut it down. It's just that long. They grow it that long for the PGA event, the Farmers Open that happens there. But man, if I had to hit out of that rough, I don't know how I'd do it. I'd probably get a 13 every single hole. Jon Rahm blew up. I believe it was on the 4th or 5th hole. He only walked out of there with a double bogey. It could have been a lot worse if he didn't compose himself, take a minute and do that. I definitely thought that Jon Rahm had that in the bag going into the final day, only being down 2 strokes. He did not have his best day on Saturday, the final round. Sam Ryder clearly didn't have his best day, shooting 3 over. Max Homa, you were an absolute stud. You got it done. I loved hearing you mic'd up on Friday during that round. I think it was Friday. It might have been Thursday. But I love seeing that. You played out of your mind. I think you're one of the best players on tour right now. The sky's the limit for you. Looking forward to this week. We have the Pebble Beach Pro-Am coming up. And I always think it's fun to see these guys' personalities on the golf course. I think golf is a game that brings out your character. It shows kind of who you really are in the good and the bad through it all. I love watching pro golf. I love watching good golf, but almost more than that, I like watching golf that's entertaining. So any way that you're able to include people from the outside that aren't involved in golf and make it something that everybody can be a part of, I love that. That's what we're all about here. Some celebrities that are playing in it this week. We have, Josh Allen, who's a fan favorite. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, you love seeing him golf. You got Larry Fitzgerald, you got Steve Young, you got Schoolboy Q, who I'm excited to watch golf. He's just entertaining out there on the golf course. You have all these people. Aaron Rodgers, arguably the best football player, golfer, I think, in my opinion. He's fun to watch. He's entertaining, he gets heated, he's funny. Whether you're an Aaron Rodgers fan or not, you like watching these guys play. Pebble Beach, definitely on the bucket list. My favorite this week to win is Jordan Spieth. I'm just a Jordan Spieth guy. I like Jordan Spieth. I've liked him since the beginning. His days at Texas, he's a fun golfer to watch. He's animated, and he's also a very good golfer. And I think this could be the year that we see 2 or 3 wins out of Jordan Spieth. If not the Masters, I think the US Open, he has a good shot. But watch out for Jordan Spieth this year. Really excited to watch the AT&T Pebble Pro. Really excited to watch the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Really excited to watch the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am this week. That's a tongue twister. The last little thing that I want to get into is how blown out of proportion the Patrick Reed, Rory McIlroy situation is. The fact that I'm even talking about it right now kind of goes to show how this stuff just spreads, and it really shouldn't be a story, and I'm contradicting myself by even bringing this up in this little segment, but I think it's blown out of proportion. Obviously, you got 2 guys. You got a guy on LIV, you got a guy on PGA Tour, big advocate for the PGA Tour, Rory McIlroy, one of the greats. They had a little scuffle. We all saw Patrick Reed in that little TikTok, little Instagram reel, whatever that was. We saw his little T-flip, completely harmless. He's being himself. I have my own feelings about Patrick Reed, all of his cheating allegations and all that stuff. I think putting that stuff aside, I think it's important. It ties into it, but putting that stuff aside, I think it was completely harmless. Even Rory said it was harmless. I think that should just be put to rest. And, my opinion's not going to matter, but I think it should be put to rest. If you guys like these types of videos, make sure to subscribe. We've grown a lot over the last couple weeks based on some views on some videos and stuff like that. We're gonna really try to make this a consistent thing with giving you guys updates, opinions, and looking forward to the week that we have ahead of us. But make sure to subscribe. It goes a long way. And yeah, excited to see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to our second edition of Weekly Updates. And yeah, see you next time.